It happened in the middle of nowhere, a dry, cracked pasture where nothing green had grown in months. Dust blew in waves across the land like sorrow, whispering in the wind, and in the center of that lifeless field, she lay still, a cowskin, pulled tight over bones, her body sunken, legs folded beneath her as if she had tried to stand, and simply failed. Her name wasn't known yet. No one had even cared enough to give her one. But that would soon change. She had collapsed from without food, maybe weeks. Her breathing was shallow, her eyes dull, and surrounding her were tiny, heartbreaking signs of life. Flies, dozens of them, feasting on her wounds, and just a few feet away, 2 calves stood frozen, unsure whether to approach or run. That's when he appeared, a farmer, not young, not rich, not famous, just a man with a weathered face and calloused hands, and something in his eyes that said he'd seen enough suffering for one lifetime. And when he saw her, he didn't walk away. He knelt beside her, and everything changed. His name was Tom Ellison, a third-generation cattle farmer from western Kansas. Drought had changed everything: the land, the rhythm of life, and the strength of the herd. Tom was driving his old pickup out toward the southern pasture, fixing broken fence lines, when something stopped him. From the ridge, he spotted her. Still, too still. He stepped down from his truck and walked toward the shape. The closer he got, the tighter his chest became. There she was, a cow, emaciated, alone. She had no tags, no brand. She didn't belong to anyone. Tom crouched beside her and saw her ribs protruding like piano keys. Her eyes were crusted over. Her breathing was thin, like she had forgotten how to want to live. He took a deep breath, poured a bit of water from his canteen into his palm. She didn't move. Then. She flicked her tongue, touched the water barely, but that was all Tom needed to see. He sprinted back to the truck, rummaging for rope and tarp. There was no trailer, no plan, just the certainty that he couldn't leave her there. Tom called Dr. Sarah Caldwell, a vet tech with a reputation for rescuing the animals no one else would. Signal was weak, but her voice came through. You said collapsed. Breathing? Yes, but barely. I'll be there in 20, she arrived. In 40, dust trailing behind her old Jeep, like smoke from a fire, Sarah took one look at the cow, and set down her bag. For fluids, antibiotics, glucose paste. Tom helped her lift the cow's head. Sarah inserted the needle. She's severely anemic, she murmured. We have to get her off this field. Together, they loaded her inch by inch into a makeshift sled of plywood and tarps. Tom's back burned, but he didn't stop. Not once. And finally, with the ropes taut and his truck crawling forward, they got her moving. She had a chance. Back at Tom's barn, they made a bed of hay and soft blankets. Sarah cleaned her wounds while Tom rubbed her ears and whispered, You made it, girl. You're safe now. They named her Daisy. For 2 days, Daisy didn't stand. She didn't move more than her eyes. Tom slept in a chair beside her every night, kept a log of her hydration, played soft country music, even read her old ranch magazines. And then, on the 3rd day, Daisy lifted her head just a little, but it was enough to make Tom cry. But healing wasn't a straight line. On day 7, Daisy collapsed again. She had stood up briefly that morning, and even licked at her grain bucket. But by sunset, she was back on her side, eyes distant. Sarah rushed back. Blood work, fever, dehydration. Again they fought through the night, fluids, pressure rubs, cooling fans. At 3 a.m., Tom thought she was gone. Her breathing stopped for 5 long seconds. Then a gasp, a flicker. She came back. Tom whispered, Don't do that to me again, girl. On day 12, something changed. Daisy stood, wobbly, trembling, but she stood. For 38 seconds. Tom clapped, cried, laughed. So did Sarah. It was like watching someone wake from a coma. From that day on, she walked a little farther, ate a little more. The barn cat slept beside her. The chickens stopped pecking and started lying down nearby. The whole farm began to change with her. Daisy, once forgotten, was now the heart of it. News spread. A local student shared a photo of Daisy standing beside Tom. It went viral. Soon kids visited the farm. A woman brought homemade salve. A reporter filmed her for the evening news. They all said the same thing. We didn't know cows could show so much emotion. But Tom already knew. Daisy followed him like a shadow now. Nudged his elbow when she was hungry. Licked his face when he sat in the grass. She had become a story. But to Tom, she was family. Months passed. Daisy gained weight. Her coat grew sleek. Her eyes were alert, calm, and kind. One evening, Tom took her back to the field where he first found her. She walked a few steps ahead, then stopped and looked back. He whispered, "You remember, don't you?" She did. She stood there for a long time, staring into the distance. Then she turned back to him, and kept walking forward, alive, whole, strong. Daisy was one of thousands discarded, abandoned, unseen. But one person saw her, stopped, fought for her, and in doing so, reminded the world that every life, no matter how broken, deserves a second chance. And sometimes, all it takes is one person with enough heart to kneel in the dirt and say, "Not today. You don't die today."